Dormant hair follicles. They start to happen when you have an individual hair follicle where the growth phase gets shorter and shorter. So what that means is we grow hair, it lives its full hair life cycle, and then it sheds naturally and falls out. That's the ideal case. Well, when something is going dormant, that growth cycle just gets a little bit shorter and shorter each time. So you lose a hair when that next hair is already there growing and replacing it. It starts to fall out at a shorter distance and a shorter time than the previous hair, and it keeps getting shorter. Well, as a result, the hair actually appears to be shorter and it's thinner. Now, this can lead to you believing that you don't actually have any hairs there from the way it looks, the way it feels. It can come off as if there are patches when really you do have everything you need for a good, strong area of hair. It's just dormant right now. Now, when we look at it even further, there's a lot that goes into this. Every hair follicle on our body has two things attached to it. Number one, blood vessels. Number two, we have sebaceous glands. Now, both of these take a big hit in a cycle of a dormant hair follicle. The blood vessels, essentially what happens is the follicle itself starts to shrivel up and get smaller, and it moves more towards the surface of the skin. Now, these blood vessels that are connecting to it, they're normally decently short and they're nice and thick. They have just a full delivery of nourishment to the hair. Well, as that hair follicle gets smaller and starts lifting up, those blood vessels have to travel a farther distance. So you have that once short and kind of plump and fat follicle or blood vessel like we like, that has to get stretched out and it gets thinner and it's just not going to deliver nutrients in the same way. Very similarly, we have the sebaceous gland that is usually very strong attached to that hair follicle. It starts to shrivel up and not produce sebum oil. So not only are those hairs not getting the nourishment they need, your skin and the hair on the outside is also not getting the lubrication that it needs from your sebum oil. This is a problem, right? And I'm going to explain a little bit more here, but the quickest introduction ever. My name is Dan. If you guys like learning about beards, hit that thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're not, consider it. I appreciate it all. So let's talk about why this happens. Dormant hair follicles can happen from a couple of different ways. First is something physically happens to you. There is trauma to the skin where you have those hairs. This can be a chemical burn. This can be an actual burn. This can be something like your little brother hit you in the face with a baseball bat when you were growing up, and it doesn't look like there's a major scar, but something happened. Something's there. That's physical damage. That absolutely can happen. Now, more commonly, it's something going on the inside. First off, the most common way is actually hormone changes. For guys and their beard, one way to get those dormant hair follicles is low testosterone. If you feel like this is going on, you feel like you've been off, you've been getting tired, you just don't feel right lately, fellas, go get your testosterone checked. We need testosterone to have the best beard possible, and there's so much to our life that we need with that. Check your testosterone. Other things that can cause dormant hair follicles from the inside would be stress. Oh man, I've talked about stress so many times on this channel because it is a killer, not only of your body, but also of your beard, right? Your body does not prioritize your facial hair likely as much as you do, and that's the first thing that's going to suffer when you have that stress. Other things could be medication changes. Seriously impacts your hair, big time. Consider that. It can even be sickness. Sickness can be temporary. Right? You can have a temporary patch that's from dormant hair follicles that comes back when you get better again. But there are some sicknesses that linger and have lasting effects. We've seen that recently, right? We still have people that are trying to get their smell back. Still have people that are feeling like their hair has changed. These different things. There's wild sicknesses out there that can play a part. We also know things like just general health of hydration, of eating the right stuff, including protein, right? We could go on and on. Essentially, if it's bad for you, that could cause something. But the most common would be physical trauma. It would be stress, and it would be something changing with your hormones. All of those have a really, really big impact. Now, there is luck, right? We can say, whew, luckily we have stuff that can help us if everything comes together. That's why I use the word luck. I can't give you a guarantee. I can't give you promises. The first thing is time and healthy habits. If you start focusing on lowering your stress, figuring out your testosterone, make sure you're exfoliating the skin, using a good wash, quality beard oil, drinking enough water, all of that can just on its own make those hairs kind of wake up again and then start growing. It really can make a difference. Now, I'm going to highlight 3 different ingredients that have proven to wake up dormant hair follicles. Not just create new growth, not just it actually is proven to wake up dormant hair follicles. And those three would be minoxidil, peppermint essential oil, and rosemary essential oil. None of these are guaranteed. None of these are magic. None of these are promised, but there is science behind it, and they are all a little bit different. I will link some studies down below in the description. Feel free to check them out. These are pretty common. I'm not like unearthing the craziest studies. You may have seen them before. I've referenced them before, but it's still really cool to read through. Let's talk about the first one, minoxidil. I do not have the most vast knowledge of minoxidil on the planet. I've never used it. It's not something that I'm like in the weeds on every single day, but I do know a little bit because of what I do here. Minoxidil is a drug. If you're unfamiliar, it is the active ingredient in Rogaine. Now, minoxidil has kind of three camps for me. One camp that has fantastic results, undeniable positive growth in those dormant hair follicle areas. Another group has nothing. They tried it, wasn't good, wasn't bad, they just felt like they wasted money. And then there is a third group that has some negative side effects, whether it harmed their skin, whether it's something like heart palpitations, and obviously user error can be involved. A lot of times when I talk about this stuff, people's like, well, they didn't do it right. Of course, I'm just sharing what has been shared with me. It can give you a chance. Is minoxidil something that I personally recommend? No, it does scare me a little bit, and I think there's better options that are safer, right? Better options, and they are safer. Not better because they're safer, but I think the results are better. And what I believe is the most potent ingredient for waking up dormant hair follicles would be something like peppermint essential oil. We have studies where this beats minoxidil in hair growth in every single way, shape, or form. Now, people would say, oh, they didn't take the right amount of minoxidil. They didn't use the right brand of minoxidil. I can only go by those studies. That's fair. I'll give you that. But I do know peppermint essential oil worked in these situations, and it will give you a chance to have growth. Another one is rosemary essential oil, same kind of concept. These penetrate deep into the skin. They get down and they really kind of wake up that dormant hair follicle that's essentially going to sleep. It's not getting the nutrients it wants, and this is just like a boom, little wake up call for them, and then the nutrients start flowing. The sebaceous glands start getting more sebum oil. The hair gets stronger. It starts lasting longer in that growth phase, and we have some amazing results. Now, that's not the limit. There are so many others out there that have great things like stuff like wheat germ oil. Whoa, okay, that could be one. Rice bran oil, castor oil, avocado oil. There's a lot of different oils and different ingredients that claim to or have results to. That's the good news. You still got to have a little bit of luck. You still got to have the ball bounce the right way. I recommend if you are using an ingredient to wake up dormant hair follicles, I do recommend applying it before night. Does it hurt during the day or in the morning? No, of course not. But we're going to have that best growth during night, during sleep, and your chance of getting those hairs woken up again is going to be the best while you're sleeping. So consider that. There are products that are out there that can really help those things. Reach out if you guys want recommendations. I'll learn about your situation and give you the best advice I think is right for you. I always welcome those. Dan C. Bearded on Instagram, that's preferred, or emails in the description, dan_command@yahoo.com. So, I think I covered everything on dormant hair follicles. They are real. This is not some snake oil myth of, oh, you'll grow a full beard in a matter of a couple weeks. No. This is science. This is what is happening to the hair underneath the skin. These are ingredients and things you can do that will help bring it back again. Now, if you do not have any hair follicles, and this is probably worth a dedicated video in the future, can stuff like this help? No. There is nothing that I'm aware of that is going to generate a hair follicle, that's going to create blood vessels, that's going to put a sebaceous gland on there. You're going to have the root, you're going to have the hair shaft. I'm not aware of anything that does that outside of a hair transplant, and I don't know anything about those. Who knows? Again, maybe a topic in the future. This is for dormant hair follicles specifically. So, let me know your guys' questions. I know you probably have a lot. I threw a lot at the wall there. I hope a little bit stuck. Maybe this is one you watch a couple of times over the week. Let me know your questions. I would love to help verify and kind of go deeper if I possibly could. Let me know your comments, your thoughts, your experiences. What about you? Have you experienced this? Have you seen this? I want to hear from this sample size, which is a pretty large one when we're talking about beards. And then anything else that you guys want to share, the comments are open for you always. Thank you guys for watching. You know I love these types of videos where I get to nerd out, go on ingredients, think about the science of it. It's not for everybody, but I do know it's for me, and I hope it's for a lot of you as well. My name's Dan C. Bearded. I want to say thank you again for watching. Please stay bearded and stay positive.